Mediocre Hobbies Podcast, Episode 6, Warhammer Boxed Games, The Leagues of Votan, and a Book Club.
Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you the next installment of the Mediocre Hobbies Podcast. It is me, of course, Andy, joined as ever by the esteemed
Tom Landy. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Big week, huh?
Yeah.
Getting some little dwarves in space.
Some Votan, yes, indeed. Yep.
Have you got the land tank truck thing yet?
No, the Land Fortress. Even the name Land Fortress is phenomenal.
I really want to see that next to something else because that is the thing I want to buy the most.
Yeah.
To be honest. And they've done that tricky thing where they take photographs of it at weird angles, and it looks nice.
The trick is to look at the door. Well, that's what I always do when I'm trying to get to scale something. Like you see the door on the side of it, and it's like the door doesn't even go halfway up the side. You're like, oh, this thing is big.
Yeah, it is. It is big, right?
But then that's the squat size door, and he's about half the size of a Space Marine. So you're like, wait a minute.
They're big enough. I mean, they're like the size of a guardsman, right?
Yeah.
So crazy. Well, I genuinely like I think the biggest issue I had with the channel up until now was I really loved your Heresy Marines, but I really wanted to see them in Mark 6. And it's the only issue. And now that Saturday morning when I woke up and I saw Leagues of Votan how to paint, I was like, quality. This is the way it should be.
Yeah. I've already had really nice comments on like all my Votan videos.
Yeah, they're really good.
Seriously nice comments on my kill team posts. I'll say my third kill team videos up now. So I've shown someone how to paint the crew, boarding guys, and now the scenery. And the scenery video is doing unbelievably.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's up one day and it's been watched 4,000 times now.
Yeah, I always open up the YouTube page before I call you, and like your Leagues of Votan from 4 days ago has it's 3.8 thousand views and the terrain is 3.7.
Yeah,
that's a day. It's quality.
It's insane, and I think it's just all quick and easy because like nobody has faux pas about painting like kill teams or Necromunda guys. It's like 10 models. I can do 10 models. It's fine. Well, man, the Into the Dark box as a piece, it's like the scenery is intimidating. Like, yeah. So my whole idea is like, it's not. Let me show you why it's not intimidating and try and talk you through a few bits and pieces. Like the idea of not having to paint all the little bits and pieces. Like people aren't going to notice them. People aren't going to focus on them. Don't worry about it. And I said some lunatics out there will paint there's literally plug sockets, like 3-pronged plug sockets on the walls. It's absolute. I've never seen it before. It's so cool. And I'm like no one's actually going to paint those things like white or whatever.
I mean, some people do.
I know.
I have to say like that. 10 minutes. There's no work to it. It's like paint it, it's dry brush it, it's color in some bits, and then it's dust. Yeah,
throw some powders on it, and So like I'm convinced if you sat down for like 4 hours in an evening, or 2 hours, or 1 hour a night for 4 nights, you get all your scenery done.
I think the joke of it is you spend longer putting on that tape so that it can still go together once you've spread it. That's like literally the trick, right? Pretty
much, yeah. Now I did it on the one I did for the video, but the rest I just sprayed. I'll just when I'm doing it. I'm stupid and whatever.
I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but there's a guy I think he's just outside Dublin called Tom Egan. Really, really cool guy. I think he might be in the army. But he was doing Space Hulk during lockdown remotely. So he would like set the board up and set cameras up and stuff, and he was playing with his mates. And then they went to Warhammer World and stuff when everything reopened. And I just saw that terrain. As soon as they announced it, I was like, he will buy all of that. Because he just sets up and just plays. He's done like Grey Knights against demons and stuff. The whole thing. It's just Space Hulk, but that's his game, you know?
Yeah, I totally get that. The person that's called Hammer the Backlog in my Twitch chat and stuff, he loves Space Hulk as well so much that when he has the original Space Hulk board game, he has his Tyranids as normal and he has the board as normal, but he's done like 4 or 5 full sets of Terminators. So we have like a Dark Angel set, a Blood Angel set, an Imperial. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how much he loves it. I'm like, oh, that's such a cool thing to do. Like, because like he doesn't like big army projects or whatever. So just being like, there's 12 Terminators, like a librarian, a captain, and 10 Terminators. What a beautiful little project to do. And getting to play with all the parts from all the Dark Angels and then all the Blood, like, just so clever.
He's the guy who's doing the 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy box right now, isn't
Yeah.
he? With the lizard men, and it's just quality stuff.
Yeah, he puts up the links to his blog, obviously, when he posted on his Instagram story. And I was the same. I've never read a blog before, but I was like, I know the guy. He's a really nice guy. I'm going to give it a shot. And I was laughing my ass off the whole way through. He's like really, really funny with some of the stuff he says.
I have in front of me one of the vampires from the...
Oh, your beautiful gang you posted the other day.
Yeah, this is just one of the other guys. I've decided I'm going to paint the rest of that gang as well.
That's fair.
But yeah, I did. I finished my more time. I've actually ordered some zombies, but I can't wait to get them. I can't wait to get them and get them painted up as well.
There's one you can make that just looks like the girl out of The Ring.
Oh yeah, I've seen her. She's great.
Perfect to build that one as well. It's so good. Like, I love the ones from Curse City, but I thought they were all a bit samey because they all have the coffin lid thing nailed to their back. I'm not a big fan of that aesthetic.
I thought Curse City looked quality, but I didn't get it, and then it came back out, and I still didn't get it, and I'm not going to get it, even though it's still available in some places. I'm never going to play it, so I'm just not going to buy it.
I get that. It's like, I have it. It's fully painted. Every single model, every objective is fully painted, and I think every model in it is gorgeous. I haven't played it, so I bought it.
Yeah.
I haven't said that I was doing it in middle pandemic kind of job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I completely get wanting to own it. One of the things I wish I had was Dreadfleet.
I have Dreadfleet. It's amazing.
Yeah, I bought several copies of it, and then played it once, and then I just sold them all for cost price.
Because did you not like the game?
Yeah, the game was great, but
okay, cool. So that's one thing I was fighting with people about. I'm like, when they're like, that Dreadfleet game, did you ever play it? Because the game was magnificent.
Yeah, game was quality. I don't really want to play Aeronautica, to be honest, either, but I do like the little ships.
I got into it all either. I never bought anything, not a single Aeronautica.
I did buy one box. The Imperial Orc one. I got it.
You bought one of the starter boxes. That was the first one. Yeah.
It might have been Element Games were doing this selling off old boxes and stuff, and I think I paid £25 for it, and I was like, I know it's only 40 quid, but yeah, 100% worth it for that. Yeah,
just treat it like a board game. Paint up those two sides and put them away in a box. That's what I love thinking of game sets like that. Think of them as just a board game. Don't think about I'm going to have to collect a whole fleet of this and a fleet. No, you've got two sets. Put them in the box set. When a mate's over, be like, "Hey, do you want to play a board game? Yeah, want to play Aeronautica? Sure. Orcs or Imperials, buddy, go."
Yeah, it is just a nice project, right? All right, I definitely want to talk about your impression of the Leagues of Votann box. So, big week this week. So, obviously, for those who don't watch your channel and are listening to this podcast, you've made some interesting life choices. Secondly, on Saturday morning, Leagues of Votann were put up for pre-order, and somebody on this call, and I don't have a YouTube channel, had a painting tutorial for how to paint one of the models, the Carl.
That's Carl, K-A-H-L, K-H-A-L? No, K-A-H-L.
What I'm alluding to is that you got your box early, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're now one of the esteemed veterans that get stuff early.
The reviewers, yeah.
So obviously, I assume you can't talk about that at all, but congratulations, and I hope you get lots and lots of cool stuff.
Thank you. And yes, I can't really talk about it all that much. Yeah.
But you can talk about what you've got. So how cool is that box?
It's phenomenal. If I hadn't been gifted it, I would have been purchasing it anyway. So I love it. I got very excited I'll go back a little bit further. So obviously I worked in Games Workshop for 15 years. Worked in Games Workshop. I remember 10 years into my job, and it was like, all right, guys, time to start the next. We're all going to do a campaign where we pick an army and grow and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was pointed to 40K. I was like, Andy, what do you want to do? And I literally looked across and was like, there's nothing I haven't done.
Do you know what? I know where this is going. I had the exact same thought with this box, because if I start any other army, I have to start by choosing something.
Yeah.
If I pick Leagues of Votann, I have one box to buy right now.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the year, there's 6 boxes total, and then I've got the whole army.
Yeah.
And that's not happened to me either for a long time.
Yes, it is an insane thing to be able to just have a whole new project for 40K. We have had it over the years, when Grey Knights get redone in plastic, that was a big deal, and we got loads of new plastics, and then
and we got Gene Stealer Cults and
Mechanicum and Custodes and stuff. So there has been here's a whole new army. Mechanicum was the biggest like totally new thing. We never really had them in. They were in Rogue Trader and second edition and stuff. But
Yep.
that was it. So that was a huge deal, and I bought all those and stuff. But it's been a while, and then they gave us squats. I mean, I'm not even sure what to call them, squats or Leagues of Votan. They are squats.
Well, we did get squats, but they're in Necromunda.
Yes, yeah, they sent me the box set, and there's just a phenomenally beautiful beginnings of an army in there. You get the 2 heroes, 2 squads of 10 warriors, and 3 of the prospector bikes.
Yeah, which are upset for those
Pioneer bikes, Pioneer Prospector. I keep getting them mixed up. I think it's Pioneer jet bikes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are objective secure. They are indeed.
It's crazy.
It is just.
What else is in the box? So are there any transfers? I'm a big transfer man.
Yeah, 2 sheets of transfers. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Nice. And then there's the Codex.
Codex with a custom cover. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's
the
cards.
card pack, which I buy every time I buy an army and then use twice.
Yeah.
I still buy them and will buy Zinch ones this weekend, but I use them twice.
Yeah, I'm bad. Like I like getting the 40k or the Age of Sigmar ones because they have like the profiles and stuff. So we're playing games, they're super handy. But the 40k ones are just like I buy them as well when the Codex comes out, and like I don't know how many armies I play during the lifespan of an edition. So it tends to be this whole thing that every like 4 years I go into my cupboard of cards and take out 20 of them and just throw them in the bin because I'm like, none of these work anymore, and they're not collectible in my head. Like I don't want to keep loads of cards. I'm not gonna like look back at cards fondly in 10 years time. I keep all the codexes, battle tomes and stuff from all the different thingies, but
I don't even collect those. Like I've got on my shelf next to me, I've got the End Times books from when the old world collapsed.
Yep, have them.
And I've got High Elf book from like, is it 3rd edition and then 5th edition, and then I've got the Lumineth books and stuff. So I've got all the High Elf books, and I've got all the Eldar books.
Okay, but you don't collect the other ones. Okay,
no,
so
I mean
I do.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I understand people that do collect it. Anyway, enough of that. Talk about small dwarf space Viking prospecting chaps.
So obviously there's 3 videos on the channel so far. The warrior video has gone up yet?
No, not yet.
That's today.
Yeah, well, not
that's out today. Because while we're recording, as soon as I finish recording, that actually goes up this evening. So by the time you're listening to this, the 3 videos will be up. So I've done one for the Cal, the Prospector jet bikes, and the
Pioneer.
Basic, the Pioneer. God, darn it. Somebody said Prospector, and I'm after saying it too many times. Now I'm wondering if in the video, do I call them Prospector jet bikes?
The squat prospectors, aren't they? And
that's probably where I'm getting it from, yeah.
Yeah.
So Pioneer
Let's
jet
try
bikes.
again. Yeah. Go for that. Go for the list again.
Go for the list again. So yeah, the 3 videos I started with on Saturday was the Cal as the first one because he's just stunning. I think he's the nicest miniature in the box set.
Yep.
And then I did the beautiful Pioneer jet bike squad, which were lovely. And I had some strife whilst painting them. I made them 2 red at one point, and then had to knock them back with adding in some more black and stuff. That's all in the video. And then as of recording this video, or as you listening to this, the standard warrior for the squad will be out, the Heartkin Warriors or whatever you call them. So
nice.
Simple to build. The Pioneer jet bikes are super easy to build. The Cal is super easy to build. The Warriors are kind of a pain.
Okay.
Because they have so many options.
Right, yeah.
It's literally like, oh, mother of God, there's so many special weapons. There's 3 different, like, not including the sergeant, there's 3 like specialists in the squad, and it's like all the lists are like, if you have this many, you can pick 2 of this and 1 of this and half of this, and you can take 1 of these guys, and maybe this guy has this and this, and you're like, oh my God. So when I was building it, I had a headache.
Yep.
Obviously, if I played some games, it would make more sense and stuff. But my plan is to have the entire box set painted by this weekend. I don't want to bombard the channel with, because once again, it would just be painting them as the Unnar conglomerate again. So they'd be the red, and it'd be the same thing that I've shown people across 3 videos, which, some people get bored of and some people get annoyed of and stuff. Like, it's just it's what a time to be alive when it comes to
See, I remember thinking that when the Storm Raven came out. Storm Raven, that's right, isn't it? The Space Marine Flyer. And I was like, I've been doing this for X number of years. Everyone else needs to do it for that long before they can buy one. It's unfair.
It's why I love the hobby, man. It's why I love it. Because I hate the Storm Raven.
Yeah, it's
the day it came out, I was just like, I hate this thing. I don't want one. No, I was a huge Space Marine fan. I am a huge Space Marine fan, and I've never bought one, never had one, never will. Just does not fit me. I just don't like it. But then other people are like, it's the best thing ever. I love that, man. I love
You should
it.
buy one. You should buy one. They're cool.
I did a storm something or other. It's one of the videos in there. The Heresy Storm Raptor. Basically,
Raptor.
it's one of them, but longer and
Yeah.
better shape.
Better.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's just longer. It's just got a better nose and it has a better ass as well.
Yeah. It's got a better surgeon, basically.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, Leagues of Votan. So, what have you built from your box so far? Or are you done?
It's all built.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the variety like in model kit? You many options or
No. So
okay?
you've got a lot of options in the warriors. The champion dude is pretty standard. He's got his hammer or an axe.
Yep.
And I think he's got a couple different heads.
Mm-hmm.
The Khal is kind of the same. His body is the same, and he's got a couple of head options. He's actually quite modifiable because he's got like 3 different pistols. He has like a power fist, a sword, or an axe for his other hand.
Nice.
And he's actually, that like back banner thing they have?
Yes.
They're actually pieces of equipment. So you get options for which one you want to stick on because they do different things.
Okay, cool.
So one's like a teleport homer, lets you be teleported into battle, and then one has like an aura buff for units around it and stuff like that. It's super cool.
Nice.
The Pioneer jet bikes are pretty much like what you get. You do get quite a few options actually. So if you got 6 of them, for instance, all the drivers would very much look different, and you get like satchels of equipment to hang off the backs of the bikes, and there's enough options that they would kind of all look different. And so yeah, they're actually pretty customizable.
And how easy or difficult are they to assemble?
They're easy. They're pretty solid like thing to construct. They are the same. It is that whole era of like you don't build 10 legs and then put 10 bodies and then pick out 10 sets of it. That's not how it works. It's like here's all the parts to make Squat Warrior 1 and all the options, and here's Squat Warrior 2 with all, you know what I mean? You have to build them one at a time. There's no batch building or you'll go insane. So you build 20 of them and everyone has a ×2 one in the front, so I built them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, it wasn't too bad. I built them over the course of watching a movie for 2 hours out of 20 warriors. So we're talking like 10 an hour is probably reasonable.
That's all right.
It's not too bad at all. And I think it's a fairly elite army. So like, I don't think you have 100 warriors on the table or whatever. So yeah, they're
awesome,
pretty cool. And like, because I now have the set and I've enjoyed what I've done with the set so far, I am dying for the rest now.
Yeah. What's your favorite yet to be released?
The Druid, I think, is the nicest model.
Yeah, he's really good. I really like him.
Like, he could get the vote for like, they do like the nicest model of the year.
Yeah.
Like, I think he top 3, like, kind of thing. I think he's just stunning. I really like the other vehicle, the smaller one. Let me just flick to the page on my codex and I'll tell you right now. It is called a Sagittor.
That's right. Yeah, really like the Sagittor. I think it's quality.
And I love that it has like the whole like it has a transparency of 5, but a 10-man squad can go in 2 of them as if they're a unit.
What a brilliant idea.
Beautiful, absolutely magnificent. Like, it's just so happy. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, like, it's good. And the models are big as well, right? Like a standard Votan guy is similar in size to a guardsman in terms of like height.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like Land
like
Raider,
a bulky guardsman, right?
Land Raider, Lehman Rust, and then it's all plastic kind of size. Like, I don't think it's going to be like the it's not going to be like the Jeans that are called like little 4-wheeler thing. It's going to be a lot bigger than that. And let me see if we can get a picture of it next to some stuff. I can remember how this got done, but there we go. Yeah, it's definitely a lot chunkier than a standard squat infantryman. It's nearly like twice the height of one, so it's going to be a big piece. Yeah,
it's such an interesting range.
I just get like serious like Lego moon landing set from the 90s vibes from the, and like that just makes me happier.
Yeah,
like that's why I chose the base for them. I wanted it to be like the asteroid/moon surface kind of thing.
Yep.
And I believe that that's their intended basing style, because like the rock that the Khal is standing on is like a piece of moon rock with like craters in it and stuff.
Yes.
Like impact craters. So I'm like, that's supposed to be. But then, they have to put their ones in the holo miniature, so they have to do the standard holo miniature
Yeah, of
racing
course.
scheme with the normal kind of thing, which doesn't really match. But
Anything about any of the kits or anything in the codex that you kind of thought, oh, that's cool or that's weird? Because you know how they'll do like, I think the last time I saw it was maybe Grey Knights or Thousand Suns last codex, but they did some like conversions or little bits and pieces that were just a little bit different that wasn't shown off before. Anything stand out to you that was cool or that you'd like to replicate?
No, there's nothing we haven't really seen before. Because I still think this is the bare bones codex.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like I still think that this is going to be like the new High Elves, the
Lumineth
Realm Lord. Thank you very much.
No worries.
So they got their first codex with their launch box kind of thing, and like 6 months later it was outdone because they brought out the whole second and third wave of miniatures.
Did the exact same thing with the Sisters Battle.
Yes, I very much believe that these will follow that. I think we've got the very, very tip of the iceberg in terms of miniatures for this range.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to see what comes next. There was a little touch in the codex that I liked, because the model that I dislike the most in the range is the Berserker with mole launcher.
Yeah, the guy who's just got a friend on a big base.
It's just I'm just not a bit sold on it. But then in the codex, you see a little box with another picture next to it.
Yeah.
And there's actually on the base, there's a little mole bomb.
Oh, nice.
They've fired it out and it's gone across the board and then like popped out, like, and it's like ready to explode. It is literally like a little bionic mole. Like, because like they have the same thing, a mole launcher in Krieg, but the mole is just a name. It's a goddamn stick grenade with drill bits. It just drills until it hits the next trench. Then it's horrid. This is just a little bionicle mole that crawls its way under the ground. That's what you're firing, like little robot moles at the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and it's very Caddyshack.
Yeah, it's. I really like the extent of the lore. I really like that they've got all this stuff that they can then just pump out. Yeah,
they've done a beautiful thing. I love when they like. I think Games Workshop has very much learned its lesson from writing armies. In that they write them in such a way that they can always expand and add more, and you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, you look at the Lumineth, their first book. I think it's paragraph 2 or paragraph 3. They're like Teclis and Tyrion. Yeah. He's here as well, but he's not here. But he's here. He's just not here.
He's busy with his whole army.
He's so busy.
We'll get to
He's so busy. Yeah, can't wait. Cannot wait. It's going to be quality.
It's going to be beautiful. But I always remember an interview that was talked about with the Bretonnians, and it was like, why are the Bretonnians going away or whatever? The statement was like, well, actually, we kind of wrote them into a corner because we wrote an army that was basically medieval, kind of British, French, pushed together, that kind of aesthetic with the knights and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they made them hate and hunt all monsters. And it's like, so
even having one on a Pegasus was almost a bit undoable, really.
Yeah, it's literally like, okay, so you've made this not a Warhammer army.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, it's not interesting. Like, if someone walked up to a table and saw Bretonnian army, like, oh, cool, what period are you playing in historicals? Like, and it's just like, I hate that. It's like, it's why I love like Necrons, for instance, and Tyranids. They're such well written. And I love the progression of the Necron storyline as well. Like, back when we first got Necrons in like the early days, and then 4th edition and stuff, it was like the tombs are only starting to wake up. So the first things that woke up are the basic warriors and scarabs and tomb spiders to go and like
and the Terminator equivalent things and a couple of the lords, and that was it.
That's it. That's all. You're gonna get the basic lords, not any of the overlords or any of that stuff. They're still asleep. Why would they wake up for your stupid self?
Yeah, you got a guy holding a ball. That's it. Move on.
Yeah. As time goes on, more and more things are waking up, and because you have that written into the story, you can just make up whatever you want. Here's a giant, colossal, mechanical scorpion. Where'd that come from? It woke up.
Woke up, yeah. It was in a hole.
That's, fair. It's been there all the time. You just didn't know. Go away. Going back to Tyranids for a second, I just want to like one thing that like I really liked about Tyranids is, did you ever read the Devastation of Baal novel?
No. I don't actually like any modern 40k. Anything that's past Heresy, or I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to do the War of the Beast next. I just don't get on with it. I think it's so. This is all new to me, so go for it.
Okay. That's weird. Like, I'm really, really falling for a lot of the new lore and stuff, and I did that whole subconscious thing where like you can put a pin in old lore, and then there's like new lore. So like I can start now and like keep up with all of the new lore, if you know what I mean. So I've like read everything. But there's a scene in Devastation of Baal. So Tyranids are attacking the Blood Angels' home planet. They're attacking the Fortress Monastery, whatever.
Yep.
Like, they call for a general, like, hey, Blood Angels, we need your help. And all of the companies show, like, all the chapters show. So the Legion of Blood Angels is defending Baal again. And it's magnificent. But there's a scene where the humans are putting out so much firepower and stuff that they're actually keeping the Tyranids at bay from the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And like the bodies are piling up and piling up and piling up, like further and further out from the wall.
Yep.
All the Tyranid dead. And then all of a sudden these new Carnifexes show up and they come stomping towards the walls. And they're like, oh, more Carnifex, whatever.
Of course.
And then the two back arms of the Carnifex like go up above his head and slam together and then smash down in front of him.
He's just a big ramp.
And it's a big dozer blade. So like he's like all the bullets are bouncing off and they're like, okay, they're more heavily armored, okay. And then they started walking forward and start pushing the big piles of bodies up against the wall to turn it into a big barricade, and then the Tyranids start climbing up over it, and they're like, and that was the whole, like, that was the best example of how quickly Tyranids evolve, and they're like, okay, we sense the problem, we can't get over the wall, you know, X plus Y equals dozer blade arms, there we go, problem solved, done. I loved it.
No, I think that's quality. I don't know. 40k modern 40k stuff. I've not found anything that I ever really enjoyed. Even stuff like Gaunt's Ghosts and stuff I haven't gotten into.
I'm currently reading through them. I'm on book 7. Well, 15.
It is heresy to say you don't like it, but it's not that I don't like it. I just haven't read it.
Yeah, it's hard to read. It's like the older ones are very old. They're so dated. Like, I'm listening to an Audible, and you know that these books were written so long ago. If I was to say, like, do you listen to books or do you actually read books?
Oh, I listen to everything.
Yeah, same as me. If you're like, okay, I'm going to give New 40k a chance.
Yep.
I recommend his great works with Belisarius Call.
I mean, of
it's
course,
standalone from everything, and it's just an amazing story, and it's just so good. And it's like what he does and how it works, and like I don't want to say anything in case you read it because I've ruined stuff. But I just think of like anyone who's listening to this who hasn't listened to that book or read that book, I thoroughly recommend it. And I don't think you'd be disappointed with the story. So now it's a book club, so you're going to have to go on until the next podcast and listen to that book and then come back and tell me how wrong I am and why you hated it and stuff.
I mean,
you've got a new phone, you're going to have to fill it up with like books, and you're going to have to listen to it with your AirPods and stuff, yeah.
It's called The Great Work. Your video's just gone live.
Awesome.
Yeah, I get notifications, Andy. I'm such a fan.
Of course.
Literally did. I literally got a pop-up on my phone. It's like Leagues of Votan had to paint the Hearthkin Warriors. There you go. 3 out of 3.
Darn it. Like as we're recording. Oh, there
right.
it is there.
Belisarius Call, The Great Work. I know that because I'm looking at it in my Audible right now and it's downloading.
Awesome.
So it's 11 hours and 6 minutes. I'll give it a go.
Awesome. I appreciate. I do like when I give a recommendation and someone's like, okay, I do appreciate that because it is like obviously it's an Audible credit. No, that's although you get a credit free, it's not free. It's still money.
If anyone doesn't know, Audible will refund anything that you have, irrelevant of how far through the book you've got. So if I listen to this book and I think it's absolute dire, I can just go and click a few buttons or send them an email and I'll get that credit back. So it is the way I have gotten into random books over the years. It's the reason they're really, really good.
If you want to follow Mediocre Hobbies, you can follow me under that name, Mediocre Hobbies, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, most importantly, YouTube. I'm everywhere. Think of social media, I'm on it under the name Mediocre Hobbies. So, yeah, follow along.